don't. I mean, the color changes are going to be pretty random because it's on Diwali colors scheming mode thing. But yeah, I just want to give you guys a quick introduction here to let you know what you're getting in for. This is a compilation, but there are some edits and censorship. The edits are mostly going to be to the first one, and I'll get to that later on. Starting with this episode of the Peace and Love special and all subsequent episodes, or as they say in YouTube English, subsequent episodes will be... I'm going to do the good boy YouTube thing and be on my best behavior. And I'm basically, going to say... I'll probably say shit a lot more, but, not egregiously. So, I may say shit a few times, but, and if it gets too crazy, I'm just going to edit it out. But no f***s. I'm not going to say f***. I'm going to censor out all the times that I say f***. So you won't hear me saying that anymore in the Peace and Love special, and probably Jose Plays as well. Unless you're on my Patreon. In which case, subscribe if it means that much to you to hear that. Basically, censoring bad language and any references to bad stuff, like... Well, I would tell you, but then I would have to censor it. But speaking of the Patreon, I have already uploaded episodes for Double Dragon and Ernest Scared Stupid, as well as Cybermania 94. I will be redoing the Surf Ninjas episode, like all new, completely redone. And then I'm going to redo parts of the Roadhouse one. So if you want to check that out, subscribe to the Patreon. It's only $1. Trust me, I know what it's like and how hard it is to just spare $1 every now and again. I mean, I just had $10 taken out of my account because I forgot to unsubscribe to New Japan World. So I mean, I know what it's like to just suddenly be like, I don't have $10 now. In addition to the current episodes of the Peace and Love special and the other things that I've uploaded on there, I will have exclusive episodes for the Patreon going forward. I know at least Weird Science and Revenge of the Nerds are two that I want to do exclusively for Patreon. So again, if you are interested and you want to help me out, because I would absolutely appreciate it, check out the Patreon. It's $1. You can also give me $5 if you want, but I mean just $1. But anything you want to give, that's great. There's some great content coming on there. But yeah, enjoy these episodes. I guess if you wanted, you could fall asleep to this video, but I wouldn't recommend it because then you'd be dreaming of me.
Who were those Quimbies in the camouflage pajamas?
Boy, those uniforms really give my chameleon-like ability to blend in with their surroundings.
Would you guys just shut up? Let this guy... Where'd he go?
Let the Peace and Love special shine a light on me. Let the Peace and Love special shine a light on me. Let the Peace and Love special shine a light on me. Let the Peace and Love special shine a goddamn motherfucking light on me.
Hey, how are ya? Welcome to the Peace and Love special with your host, the J-Man, Jose Campa. Listen, this has been like a labor of love for me. I've been wanting to do a video like this for a long time. About 2 years, as a matter of fact. Been watching all these other people do it, like Prim's Hood Cinema, Red Eye Reviews, and the J-Man wants a shot. I want to do it too. And as a result, you're going to hear a couple of inconsistencies in the audio. This is one of my favorite movies from when I was a kid, and I thought it'd be perfect as the first one to start this whole series. And I'm yapping too much. We need to get this shit started. Let's go, baby.
Let's get this shit started!
We start off with some vague mystical destiny crap by the character of Zatch, who explains that someone is after them. Who are they? Johnny and Adam, the eponymous surf ninjas. However, it is worth noting that they're South Asian and not Japanese, and they clearly do not surf. I mean, Johnny's double looks like Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa for f***ing. We're also treated to a very 90s soundtrack, which the father, Mac, does not care for. Nice product placement. We're treated to a nice little scene that paints the young characters as unmotivated slackers because they're surfers. And we learn that both boys get by on their charm and creative scamming prowess.
You're smooth, Johnny, but you're not always gonna get out of life's problems with this smooth stuff.
I love you, Dad.
Love you too.
Psych.
Oh, totally gnarly burn, dude. Mac owns a burger joint that he also works at every day. He hopes that the boys will understand the value of hard work and not rely so much on scamming.
What was that? I put down that knife in front of you. Seriously, if you don't want ties, I won't put them in.
We're then introduced to the best character in the film. Iggy is also a slacker, but more of the non-smooth, idiotic type. Here's some ninjas.
They came to kill the boys as I knew they would, but I was there to stop them.
You guys are
Also some surfing?
Moto surf! Moto surf! Moto surf!
Either the producers thought that moto surfing would take off after this movie, or they were like, this is what the f***ing kids do. They like to do that moto surfing shit. Hey, look at that. The school's called Surf View.
I need a homework alibi. Maybe I can tell him that I was hammered by the fact that I found out I was adopted last night. You were adopted last night? Why didn't your dad just adopt you when you were a baby?
In case it wasn't obvious, Mac is not Johnny and Adam's birth father. Also, Iggy is f***ing stupid.
What if I was adopted and my dad was a really rich king and stuff? Hey, if my dad was king, man, I wouldn't have to worry about my homework anymore. I'd definitely be out of the 11th grade.
I'm sorry, 11th grade? Aren't you like 30? The school gets a visit from an Asian spiritual guru called the Baba Ram. Johnny was supposed to prepare some kind of presentation to honor his visit, but he didn't.
I'm about Creeko the man. Are you prepared? I told you, Mr. Dunbar. Everything's under control. No worries, bro. Good.
So, did this guy make the assumption that since Johnny is Asian that he could just pull some kind of ethnic appropriate presentation out of his ass? Is he not aware of the fact that Johnny is a slacker? Why didn't he ask a more reliable student to do this, like an AP student? Did he even bother to make sure that Johnny and the Baba Ram were of the same ethnicity? Does he not know that Johnny is adopted and that his father is white? Johnny decides to show up his racist bitch-ass principal by creating an impromptu musical number.
Ba 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 rum. Ba 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 rum. Take my hand. You got me rocking and rolling, rocking in a rhythm,
Finally, we get to see what we all came for. Surfing and ninjas.
The legs are popping! Later! Well, what? You're not coming with us? I'll be there in a minute.
Iggy still hasn't made the giant leap into surfing, but he's too embarrassed to admit that he's chicken shit. Johnny and Adam go along with it so they don't make him feel bad.
Okay, so then we'll see you out there, right? Yeah. You gotta put some wax on the board, you know, so it don't slip off.
Man, these are some pretty ninjas. I guess they'd have to be, since they're in the employ of Colonel Chi. Colonel Chi is a former mercenary turned evil despot, played by the legendary Leslie Nielsen. He wants the boys dead for some reason. I guess we'll find out why later.
Those boys tonight.
Later that night, Pops is asking the boys how their day went.
So, how was school today, guys?
They tried to make me find Spain.
Are they trying to
make me first space once? I said it could be anywhere.
Hey, so did I.
Suddenly, they get an unexpected visitor, Zatch. The burger joint becomes Ninja City. We get some killer martial arts action, including a skateboard as a weapon and a ninja getting his butt burned. Mac urges Zatch to take the boys to safety, which he does and then disappears.
Where'd he go? I don't know, but I miss him already.
They meet up again, and Zatch decides to tell the boys what the hell is going on. He tells Johnny and Adam that they are the crown princes of a peaceful little country called Patusan. Zatch goes on to explain that it is prophesied Adam will become a great future sing person, and Johnny will succeed his father as a great warrior king. When Johnny and Adam were young, Colonel Chi came to Patusan and brought the motherfucking ruckus. A younger, two-white Zatch tried to defend the royal family, losing an eye in the process. Zatch hands the boys over to Mac, who raises the little tykes as his own. Also, Colonel Chi is all cybernetic now because an elephant stepped on his face or something. Johnny and Adam are super worried about their dad, whom they now know was kidnapped by the ninjas. However, Zatch is being a dickhead by telling the boys that Mac, the man who loved and raised them for over a decade, doesn't matter anymore because their real home was Patusan, where Johnny must reclaim his throne. Listen, Zatch's loyalty is honorable and all, but how in the does he expect these two to just peace out to a foreign land that neither of them have any real memory of? Especially after being, again, raised and cared for by their adopted father for over a decade. Right after being attacked by ninjas. That's a pretty goddamn traumatic event. You're putting an awful lot on these boys right now. Well, Zatch doesn't seem to care at all because he just disappears again. Iggy calls the cops, who send Detective Tone Loc to investigate. He's not buying the whole white mercenary who resides in South Asia sending deadly ninjas to kill a crown prince story. Also, because he wasn't being a big enough asshole that day, he tells the boys that their father probably bounced because he owed bad people a lot of money, and he's just chilling on a beach somewhere. We're then treated to the comedy stylings of the one and only Rob Schneider.
You keep getting here and clean up your bloody room. I know best, but after all, I'm 37. Don't make me come out there and beat you at a league of mine that no longer works, cause I'll know it.
Good one, Rob. Rob Schneider will be at the Wilbur Theater in Boston, Massachusetts on October 21st. Get your tickets now. Iggy thinks he's also part of the royal family because he has a special power of his own, and also because he's, again, stupid.
Iggy, you can't be the king of Patusan. You're not Asian.
Okay, let's see here. Rob Schneider, yeah, okay, yeah, that's what I thought. What else do we have here? Adam's future seeing powers develop when he starts seeing weird shit in his Game Gear.
Where's Shinobi? I was playing Shinobi.
By the way, Shinobi for Game Gear is the bomb. Ninjas show up to the house and Zatch stops them by blowing up the house.
I have no choice. I don't have no choice but to come with me. It's your destiny. What about Dad? I'll help you find Mac. That too is part of your destiny.
Sakes. First, Mac doesn't matter, then you blow up his house. But now finding him is part of their destiny? Again, Iggy is such a f***ing idiot that he thinks that he has the power to make things happen if he prefaces with, "What if I?" Strangely, this actually, holds true. I guess it's destiny.
What if I lose this power? Oh my god, I just said, what if I lose this power? I just had this power and I blew it.
We get to see some villainy from Colonel Chi. A lackey almost gets his cybernetics wet, so he threatens to chop off. We also get some genuinely funny phone shtick. You know, I like that. It establishes his cheapness while also explaining why he settled for really shitty cybernetics that aren't waterproof. The gang heads on over to Little Patusan. You know, that famous ethnic community in Los Angeles.
We'll go to the Imperial Palace.
They hide out in a Patusani restaurant. Man, I love Patusani food. I love purple curry with chicken, fall rolls, and soba noodles. Johnny finds out in the kitchen, which is super clean and not that bustling, that he is arranged to marry the restaurant owner's daughter. The boys have a little fun with the wifey reveal.
You know what they say? Chick's got a veil, dude better bail. Yeah, they cover her face, pick up the pace. She's afraid to show it. She's probably not very attractive.
Oh, Rob Schneider! Rob Schneider will be at the Patterson and injured taking. She happens to be very, very pretty, so I guess Johnny has no objections to this arranged marriage.
You do not need to go out. Soon you will be married. And I will be yours forever.
Nice. The next morning, Adam uses his game gear and sees that the ninjas are trying to cause problems at the restaurant. It's looking a little hairy until out of the f***ing blue, Johnny becomes a badass martial artist that takes on like 10 dudes all by himself. Well, almost. Zatch steps in and finishes what Johnny started with a little help from Adam.
Chopsticks.
Now that Johnny's latent MMA abilities have manifested, it's time for the motherfucking revolution. They quickly head to Patusan, by boat, to free their pops and save the people of Patusan from Colonel Chi. The only thing stopping them is Detective Tone Loc. Zatch takes care of him, though.
Good night. Good night, baby.
We then get a montage of Johnny trying to talk to his child bride, Iggy puking into a pipe, and Zatch playing with his micro machines. There's also this.
To get those handcuffs off. I had a key. Well, we searched you. I swallowed it last Tuesday. How'd you know you couldn't eat it? I swallow it every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday, this f***ing guy swallows his key, shits it out a couple days later, hopefully cleans it off, and then swallows it again the following Tuesday. Nice.
And what if we're getting hammered and we gotta bail?
We shall either be victorious or in our graves.
There's no gray area with you, is there? I mean, the glass is either half full or we're dead.
Johnny brings up a good point. I mean, these are kids. I mean, how do you not see... Oh. Never mind. Colonel Chi finds out that the surf ninjas are coming to take him over. He ransacks an entire village of innocent people. You know, you see him in all those Naked Gun movies and you think, wow, he's pretty goofy and silly, but man, he is not f***ing around this time. So Zatch is basically like, f*** these villagers. We need to find something about Quan Su. Apparently it's something to do with destiny. I don't know. This is so stupid at this point. The stupid asshole Iggy is like, what if I could find them? But in reality, Adam is the one with all the superpowers to find where things are. And he does. By having Johnny fall through a hole. Well, isn't it so convenient that the hole that Johnny falls through is right in front of the
Weapons of Quan Su.
The group stumbles upon a prison. Nice. Zatch says that they should ignore their plight because it could lead to Johnny and everyone's capture. Johnny, having blood instead of ice cold water in his veins, feels a bit shitty about that. Iggy f***s up again for the millionth time, sending Adam and Detective Tone Loc down the hillside. Detective Tone Loc loses his burner on the ride down and forgets that he's far out of his jurisdiction.
Dr. Peace, punk. LAPD. You're under arrest.
After Chi's goons go all Korean store owner on Detective Tone Loc's ass, Johnny pitches a rescue mission, which involves throwing Iggy off the cliff. It also involves a teenage girl offering sexual favors to dumb soldiers and Johnny making a fuckload of noise. Surprisingly, this plan does not work. However, Adam saves the day.
Anyone need a ride?
We get more exciting martial arts action, and then a car chase with gunfire and dynamite.
I got something. Cigarettes. Yeah. I know I should quit.
Maybe you should get the pack. Look who I'm talking to.
Oh, the Robmeister making funnies. Rob Schneider will be threatening the city of Austin, Texas with his shitty comedy at the Cap City Comedy Club. Get your tickets now. Thanks to the Surf Ninjas, the people of Patusan are ready to take back their homeland from Colonel Chi and up. They just need to not be murdered by the thousands first.
Yeah, they must be expecting an attack. Check out all the guns. They're all pointing right at us.
We get more vague, mystical crap from Zach. He tells Adam that he doesn't need the Game Gear because the magic was always inside him. Ew. So, Adam visualizes how they'll sneak onto the main island.
Those trees are...
Remember, bend your knees, use your arms.
That's right, the Surf Ninjas are gonna surf into battle.
Alright, you guys ready to check out the waves?
The Surf Ninjas surf into action, along with the Patisani rebels, who amazingly don't drown. We also learned something new about the black community.
Brothers don't surf. Let's get back to the hood. Won't none of the homies talk to me again.
Shit pops off, and the Patisani rebels are about to take back their homeland. Even Iggy gets in on the action. We then get some badass martial arts action, like Zach using that bow nunchaku thing that Billy Khan uses in Fatal Fury, and Detective Tone Loc giving some perps the wooden shampoo. The child bride whoops some ass too. This leads to a fun running gag. But then, Colonel Chi shows up with Mac, and he tries to kill Johnny, but hits Zach instead. Zach takes it like a G though, and reveals that he's the prince's uncle.
You're my uncle? No, not you.
It's Johnny's destiny to f*** up Colonel Chi himself, but not before we get our second run of the running gag here. Johnny and Colonel Chi have their final showdown, and it's almost curtains for Johnny until Adam steps in and saves the day with his Game Gear. Adam uses his Game Gear to control Colonel Chi's cybernetics, and holy shit, Colonel Chi has a pipe on him. After Johnny brutally kills Colonel Chi, peace is finally restored to the kingdom of Patusan. Also, it just so happens that spiritual guru, the Baba Ram, is from Patusan. Johnny decides that he wants to be a regular 16-year-old American and not the king of some weird country he's never heard of before. So he gives the country over to the people of Patusan, which I'm sure is going to go very well. And then we end on another musical number. That, ladies and gentlemen, was Surf Ninjas. Johnny was played by Ernie Reyes Jr. Zach was played by Ernie Reyes Sr. That's right, the uncle is the father. Well, I mean the father is the uncle's actor. I mean the actor of the uncle was played by the father of the. This movie was developed after the popularity of Ernie Reyes Jr.'s character Keno in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. Ernie even wore the suit for Donatello in the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Ernie has been a martial artist since he was a child. He was even featured in movies such as Red Sonja, as well as TV shows like Sidekicks. Speaking of which, the fictional nation of Patusan was referenced in the TV special The Last Electric Knight and its spin-off, Sidekicks. It originated in Lord Jim, a novel by Joseph Conrad, who is also known for Heart of Darkness. It was meant to be a nation located in the South Seas inhabited by people referred to as the Malays. Surf Ninjas really did have a Game Gear game. It was made at the same time as the movie, and Sega of America even helped finance the film. My Uncle Mike actually owned the game, and I played it on his Game Gear a few times as a kid. Interestingly, there was also an Amiga CD32 game. That, however, is rather different from the source material. So yeah, like I said before, this was one of my favorite movies from when I was a kid. And rewatching it as an adult, you get that cringy bullshit 90s kids movie kind of stuff that comes with trying to revisit stuff that you liked as a kid as an adult, which I don't like that much. However, there are some funny parts in it. The Schneidmaster, the big Schneid, big anti-vax Robbie, has a couple of funny moments in it. The martial arts action's kind of cool. It's a nice little time capsule movie. Leslie Nielsen is legitimately funny in it. Tone Loc's kind of entertaining as well. You know, the bit about him swallowing his key and shitting it out and then re-swallowing it every Tuesday. That's pretty clever. I don't know if I'd necessarily recommend this to anybody who was born after the 1990s, but if you're an adult who grew up in the 1990s or the 1980s, yeah, recheck it out. It might be again like a nice little time capsule thing. I mean, shit, at least it isn't Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
Hey, how are you? Welcome to the Peace and Love special. It's me, Jose Gampa, just like it says in the credits. This is one of my favorite movies that we're doing today, Roadhouse. You know, like the Family Guy thing. You know, it's like, you know. This is one of my all-time favorite movies. It's really over the top. It's stupid. It's funny. It's mad 80s. I mean, it's got it all. Fighting. Patrick Swayze. Girl. Just so happens, too, that a remake of this movie is coming out pretty soon. Like, around the time that this is being published. Isn't it funny how life seems to work out that way? But enough of my yapping and my bull crapping. Let's get this shit started.
Let's get this shit started!
The movie starts at a straight up litty 80s nightclub. Some old white dude steps out of a limo to check this place out, and bro, it is poppin' in here. We got hot women, a brother getting a swirl on, big ballers, and some asshole causing problems. He catches the attention of our hero, the one and only Dalton. Excuse me. Dalton tells this punk to leave, but this asshole's like, nah, and takes a stab at, literally, Dalton.
I've always wanted to try you. I think I can take you.
Dalton entertains this notion, but he walks back inside because he leaves the light work for his crew. The old white dude sneaks up on Dalton, stitching himself up. The old white dude wants Dalton to help him fix up a shithole club that he just bought. Dalton tries to talk him out of it with some pretty high demands.
$5,000 up front, $500 a night cash. You pay all medical expenses.
This old white dude really wants Dalton, so he agrees. You see, Dalton is famous in the universe of this movie for being a badass motherfucker. There's actually a recurring joke about this.
I thought you'd be bigger.
Dalton accepts the job and heads to Jasper, Missouri.
Cut your ass.
Well, the old white dude wasn't kidding about this shithole. This place is litty too, but in a whole different kind of way. Bikers, dealers, people who probably shouldn't be drinking, sex workers. Holy shit, Terry Funk?
Don't come back.
After Dalton catch up with his homies in the band, he assesses the situation.
Blood on the floor in this joint every night.
How do you know that? Shit, I say he's gonna earn that 5 G's. Dalton buys a hoopty and a load of spares because, well, he needs them in his line of work. He then rents a nice little room on a farm. This farm just so happens to be right across the lake from the main antagonist, Brad Wesley. The old white dude holds a meeting to go over the plans for the future Double Deuce. Part of this plan includes hiring Dalton.
I've hired the best damn cooler in the business.
Wait, what in the f*** is a cooler? I thought Dalton was a bouncer. Is a cooler a type of bouncer? Like, he helps cool people off? Dalton fires all of the troublemakers. The funker doesn't take rejection well.
You're a man.
After that, he goes over the tricks of the trade.
1. Never underestimate your opponent. 2. Take it outside. 3. Be nice.
That's a good rule, and the reason I could never be a bouncer. Well, that and I also can't fight worth shit. Later, they have a trial run with the new staff to mixed results. Holy shit, that was cool. Dalton fires the bartender for skimming, but it just so happens that he's connected. More on that in a minute. Dalton meets Red, the owner of the auto parts store. At the same time, he finally meets Brad Wesley and Brad's bottom boy, Jimmy. What was that about? Remember when I said the bartender was connected? He's the nephew of Brad Wesley. Brad sent some goons after Dalton, who gets sliced in the side during the fight. He gets stapled up by the hot doc.
Well, Mr. Dalton, you may add 9 staples to your dossier.
Hey, 9 staples. I got 9 staples once.
File says you've got a degree from NYU. What in?
Philosophy.
Any particular discipline?
No, not really. Man's search for faith, that sort of shit.
How's a guy like you end up a bouncer?
Just lucky, I guess.
So, yeah, this is one of the reasons why I love this movie. It's ridiculous and absurd, but like, in a good way. Brad is not happy that his goons didn't take care of business, and makes his concerns known.
Get this piece of shit coward out of here.
After Red fails to make his protection payments, Brad's goons give him a second notice. Dalton decides to call in reinforcements. We meet Wade Garrett, Dalton's mentor, played by the cowboy himself, Sam Elliott. He eventually makes his way to Jasper to help out Dalton. That impression was f***ing horrible. We begin to see some improvements to the Double Deuce. There's another fight, and eventually the hot doc shows up. We get some of the worst dialogue I've ever heard in a movie.
I better take you home. If I keep talking, you're gonna go off thinking I'm a nice guy.
I know you're not a nice guy.
And Dalton plants the seed. The next morning, Brad meets with Dalton and offers him a spot on the goon squad. Dalton refuses, but then Brad mentions that he knows about Dalton's secret.
Tells me you said it was self-defense in the trial.
What secret, you ask? We'll find out more about that later. The Double Deuce is finally turning around, but liquor supplies are running low. Dalton suspects that Brad is keeping liquor suppliers from doing business with the Double Deuce. Thankfully, Dalton has the hookup. Hot Dog shows up. Yep, they smash.
Their lovemaking must be beautiful.
However, Brad does not like Dalton and Hot Dog smashing. Hot Dog? Personally, I thought it was hot. This is all because Brad just so happens to have a thing for the hot dog. Well, go f***ing figure. The next day, the liquor truck shows up along with Brad's goon squad. Thankfully, Wade also showed up. Dalton introduces Wade to the hot dog. It's awkward.
Show you, Scar. I'll show you one I'm real sentimental about, Doc.
Especially when Dalton's secret gets brought up.
A long way from Memphis.
Memphis has nothing to do with it.
Bullshit.
The next night of the Double Deuce is straight bananas. Red's store catches fire and blows up. Brad makes it obvious that he's responsible. Brad's girlfriend treats everyone to a tease, and finally, Brad's bottom boy Jimmy starts some shit. Jimmy and Dalton are about to throw down, but Brad pumps the brakes.
Alright, that's enough.
All the local business owners have just about had it with Brad's shit and conspire to put a stop to him. Dalton wants to help, but it's not easy, and we actually see him lose his cool.
I know exactly who Brad Wesley is. I've seen his kind many times. He keeps taking and taking until somebody takes him.
Especially after his landlord's house gets destroyed. Jimmy tries to flee the scene, but Dalton is like, oh hell nah. Finally, Jimmy and Dalton get it on. Speaking of which...
I used to fuck guys like you in prison.
Oh, I believe it. Although, I think that line probably should have been delivered more like, I used to make sweet, sweet to guys like you in prison. Because, come on, I mean, that's young Swayze. That man was beautiful.
I'm gonna kill you the old-fashioned way.
So, about Dalton's secret. It turns out that before the events of the movie, Dalton killed a guy in self-defense. He smashed some woman whose jealous husband pulled a gun on him. He defended himself by ripping throat out.
Fatality.
God damn, that's not just some Mortal Kombat shit, that's some Fist of the North Star shit. Did Wade teach him that one too? Yeah, that's gonna take more than 9 staples, honey. Jimmy's death displeases Brad. Brad retaliates by having his goons give Wade the rough stuff. Dalton comes to his senses and decides to leave town. He goes to the hospital and tries to get the hot doc to leave with him. But it turns out that seeing the man she started to fall in love with suddenly become an obsessive is a bit of a turnoff. Wait a minute, am I right? Dalton returns to Wade so they can blow the joint, but Brad has him. It turns out that his best friend and mentor is Dalton's hot button. So, Dalton decides to discuss his grievances with Brad himself. He ends up taking out each member of the goon squad. Some go down easier than others. Brad and Dalton have one last showdown in Brad's trophy room. Dalton eventually gets the upper hand, but decides to let Brad live. The business owners, on the other hand, they teach Brad a lesson and leave all of us with the best lesson of all. Don't tell the cops.
Who's gonna tell me what the hell happened here? I didn't see nothing. You see anything, Pete?
No, I didn't see anything.
You see anything, Red?
I didn't see nothing.
And that was Roadhouse. Patrick Swayze is of course also well known for some other movie called Dirty Dancing. Yeah, I'm not that familiar with it either. But in addition to learning dance from his mother Patsy, Patrick also trained in martial arts, including Kung Fu, Aikido, and Taekwondo. He eventually suffered a knee injury while playing football in high school. Jasper is an actual city in the state of Missouri. However, the movie was not filmed in Missouri. A writer and film critic, Robert Trussell, once said about the movie that little effort was made to hide the California mountains in the background. It could just as easily have been set in New Jersey, Hong Kong, or outer space. Cooler is a term that's used to describe the head bouncer in a bar. Usually, a cooler tries to de-escalate situations without the use of violence. The band in the movie is an actual blues rock band called the Jeff Healey Band. The character of Cody was played by Jeff Healey. Jeff Healey was blind in real life and started playing the guitar at age 3. He developed a style of guitar playing where he rested the guitar on his lap. Sadly, Jeff Healey passed away at the age of 41 in 2008. In addition to Jeff Healey, we've also lost pro wrestling legend Terry Funk, actors Ben Gazzara and Lloyd Sunshine Parker, best friend to Elvis Presley, Red West, and Patrick Swayze. Rest in peace to all of them. This has always been one of my favorite action movies. It's funny to me that it's seen as this very masculine movie for men, yet it kind of sort of subtly pokes fun at toxic masculinity. I like that Dalton is very skilled as a fighter and physically tough, but he's constantly underestimated for his size and extreme good looks. And this motherfucker was good looking. I mean, y'all can see that. The dialogue is pretty terrible at times, especially the lines given to the hot doc and Dalton's quasi-philosophical and somewhat nihilistic meanderings. But then again, this movie is basically fights and this movie has a nice selection of fights and check it out if you can. As of this date, it's on Max. Not sponsored. Hey y'all. Thought I'd step in here again for a moment. Hey, that Surf Ninjas episode, that was something, huh? You know, it's crazy because I was like genuinely proud of that when I first finished it. And you know, when I was, you know, watching it essentially as I was editing this all together, I was like cringing at it. It's just, I think that I've improved a lot over the years. Like it's been like 3 years since I first uploaded it. But you know, the thing is like I made it. I was proud of it at the time. I feel like it's worth preserving. So, you know, that's why I included it in the compilation. I will redo it and put it on my Patreon like I mentioned earlier. But yeah, what it was probably pretty obvious was that I was still drinking very heavily at the time. I was like a full-blown alcoholic. And I think that's very evident when you listen to me delivering the voiceovers. It's very obvious. I eventually did get sober. I've been sober for almost 3 years now. Hey, if you think that you can't do it, if I can do it, literally anybody can. You just gotta, you know, kind of want to do it. But listen, you know, you're not watching this to, you know, hear me lecture you or give you any kind of pep talk. I mean, unless you are, in which case you're welcome. But so another thing about the Surf Ninjas portion is I'm sorry that it was so long. It was like as I was watching it, I'm like, why did I leave so much of this stuff in here? I was very tempted to just trim it down to the way I would, you know, have done it now. With that being said, I did cut 2 things out of it. One was definitely warranted. The other one was mostly for pacing, but also just to keep it entertaining. The first one was not proud of this at all. It was an R-word joke. There's a part in the movie where Zach like sneaks up on Johnny, and Johnny like gets really scared, and everyone's like, what's going on? Johnny basically says something along the lines of,
"What's tall, dark, wears a patch, and always seems to be on my butt?"
And I guess I thought it would have been funny at the time to basically say that, like, to joke. I'm holding my script here. To joke that Zach SA'd Johnny, and it's like listen, you can call me woke if you want. I don't really care. If that's a concern for you that I don't make jokes like that, then this is not the channel for you. But I remember I was like thrown off guard when I watched it, because I'm like, yeah, that's like, it's like, it was, I mean, even the way I delivered it just didn't even sound funny. Like, it almost sounded like I was being serious. And it's like, it's not like I'm against edgy humor or any crap like that, but it's like I feel like I'm better than that, and I don't find that funny. And again, if you have a problem with that, or you think I'm woke, I don't give a crap. Think I'm woke. I am kind of woke. I mean, by the actual definition of woke, I am woke. But if that's a problem for you, I almost said the F word. Good. I had to cut it out because it wasn't cool. And at that point, I already in the video established that Zach was a very overzealous individual that was expecting way too much of these kids that had no idea what the hell was going on. And another thing along those lines that I cut out was I went on this like a very long rant where I explained that Zach is like a violent psychopath who's always just trying to go Johnny into a fight and all this nonsense, and it was just like boring. And I think where I was coming from at the time was yeah, I'm like deconstructing a kids movie by making this very serious point that the writers didn't consider, or like something they over. It was stupid. It was like and I remember even too that a person who had watched it and told me about it, like I asked his opinion of the video. He didn't mention anything specifically about the rant, but he mentioned that the visuals during that scene were very distracting because I basically slowed down the video, but in Premiere it has like this mode where it like blends frames together and makes it looks kind of cool, but with this ridiculously long rant and these are the visuals that I'm providing you, it's like it was distracting, and it's just you're basically left feeling like what dude, what is this? It was the one cut that I made that I was like, okay, if I cut this, it'll be a little bit more watchable. As for the Roadhouse review, that one I was very proud of at the time, and I still very much enjoy that one. That was when I think it was the beginning of me understanding, okay, this is what I want to do with these videos now. And I got a lot of compliments on it at the time. I had a lot of people that I asked in my real life to watch it, and a lot of people not only watched it, but they liked it. And the one thing I got the most out of it was, you made me want to watch the movie. That's actually what my sister-in-law said when I showed it to her and my mom and my brother when I went to go visit them. Speaking of my mom, it's kind of funny because I showed it to her, and they all, I think, liked the video. I mean, I think they liked the video, but it's my mom actually grew up in and around bars quite a bit because my grandparents owned a few of them. Like I think they owned like 2 of them in San Antonio. But I think because of that, like she actually knew what a cooler was. Like she, there's the part in the video where I'm like, what is a cooler? Is that like somebody who cools down people or something? And my mom's like, yeah, that's what it is. And I'm like, I define what it is later in the video, but she already knew about all that stuff, and I'm assuming it's because she grew up in that world in a sense. But it was funny because she brought up a point that I wish I would have put in the video. My mom was telling me and my brother and my sister-in-law, that guy, the old man that he owns the shop, his name's Red. That was Elvis's bodyguard. And I remember my immediate reaction to her saying that was, yeah, I mentioned that in the video, but what I meant was I mentioned that they were friends. But I was like, I should have mentioned that instead. I should have said that, like that, because that seems like it would have been, even though like bouncing bodyguard, not necessarily the same thing. They kind of seem more cohesive as like a thing than mentioning that they were this, it was just his friend. But anywho, like I just wanted to basically give a shout out to my mom, because she's way smarter than me, obviously, and she has. That's where I get my creative side from, is my mom, and my dad too. But yeah, I guess shout out to my mom. I love you. Okay, yeah. Well, with all that being said, though, you got 3 down, 2 to go. Enjoy. Hey, how are you? Welcome again to the Peace and Love special. I am recording this on a day that's super windy. You might hear a little bit of banging in the background. And what the is that? Birds? Probably could have recorded this on a day where it wasn't so windy, but shut up. So today is one of possibly many kids movies from the 90s that I'm going to review that have not aged well and that I did not end up liking very much. So I hope that you guys enjoy this review. I will try to make it fun and interesting. I'm yapping again, and I'm just carrying on. Let's get this shit started.
Let's get this shit started!
We begin in... yeah, there. Some shady looking dudes are burning down a village looking for a sacred medallion. However, the locals ain't snitching. Damn, pretty exciting start. An old geezer hightails into a misty cave to Why does that ancient statue look like a Muppet? The old man is followed by a ninja lady. Ooh, a hot ninja lady. She has zero problems finding the medallion. We then get introduced to the best character in the film. Kogashuko is the main antagonist, played by the T-1000 himself, Robert Patrick. He goes on and on about some boring-ass story involving a king and two sons, I don't know. Thankfully, it's interrupted by an earthquake aftershock. Those happen a lot in the future. His minions are so stupid that they didn't realize an artifact called the Double Dragon would contain 2 pieces. I'm pretty sure he's told that boring-ass story a million times already. Hey birds. Shut the f*** up.
Find me the other half.
We meet our heroes, Billy and Jimmy Lee. They're competing in a martial arts tournament, but Billy blows the win because he plays around too much. Jimmy tries to fix everything, but the tournament turns into a Travis Scott concert. Next up, we get the only redeeming part of this movie, the world building. You see, New Angeles is an even bigger shithole than Los Angeles after a massive earthquake turned everything into Wish.com Mad Max. The only thing keeping a sense of peace in the city is a truce between the cops and the street gangs. Billy and Jimmy, along with their auntie, try to get home without running into gangs. Instead, they run into shitty acting.
Good evening, gentlemen. May I see some identification?
$50, man. We accept all major credit cards, including American Express. You got a problem with that?
There's a very long and very boring chase scene, but eventually the Lee boys are saved by the Power Corps. This is Marion. She's the strong female lead in Ooh-wee. Oh, right. Marion and the Power Corps work hard to protect the city from the street gangs. However, the cops think that the Power Corps are also part of the problem. More on that later. Auntie tells the Lee boys that she has the other Double Dragon medallion, and that it must be protected at all costs because it's powerful. I don't know. Anyways, Shuko meets up with Abobo, one of the goons we met earlier. Shuko is rather perturbed that Abobo had the chance to get Auntie's medallion but botched that. Shuko decides to put Abobo on the juice and sends him back onto the streets. The next morning, we see Marion at home having breakfast with her dad and little brother. Look, I love the world building, but you guys either got lazy there or that's the most awkward product placement ever. Marion's dad is the chief of police and doesn't realize that his own daughter is the leader of the Power Corps. As a result, he inadvertently talks all kinds of shit about the Power Corps in front of her. I am already getting sick of saying Power Corps. I'm sick of the f***ing wind. I'm sick of these birds. I can't speak. I'm just so sick of everything right now. Marion tries to talk some What the f***? Marion tries to talk some sense into her dad, but he ain't trying to hear that. Shuko ends up finding the Lee boys and Auntie to try to scoop the medallion. Shuko's goons go after the Lee boys while he and the hot ninja lady take care of Auntie. We get some martial arts action, some Home Alone bullshit, including a roided out Abobo gassing out while in pursuit of the Lee boys. Shuko uses his medallion powers to inhabit the body of Auntie to trick Billy and Jimmy. Shuko burns down their home and Auntie doesn't make it out alive. Rest in peace. By the way, this whole scene was very long and very boring. Shuko tells the hot ninja lady to set up a meeting with all the street gangs so he can rip off the beginning of the Warriors. Shuko tells all the gangs that he's now the shot caller and the king of New Angeles, and they are just down with that, I guess. Meanwhile, Billy and Jimmy mourn the loss of their auntie and try to figure out their next move. All they want to do is try to make it through the streets alive, but unfortunately, they're wanted by every gang in the city. The Warriors. It's the Warriors. There's even a mailman gang. The Lee boys get ambushed but escape by boat. Well, there's a jet ski gang too. At least we get some cool matte paintings. Finally, the scene ends with explosions. Shuko is super pissed that he still does not have the other medallion and resorts to calling the police. At the same time, Billy and Jimmy seek help from the Power Corps. Marion helps Billy and Jimmy... Marion helps Billy and Jimmy... oh my god, dude. Marion helps Billy and Jimmy sneak into Shuko's headquarters, which looks like a Vaporwave album cover come to life. yeah. This is the aesthetic. The Power Core create a diversion in the lobby while Billy, Jimmy, and Marion sneak into the back. Well, this is aged well.
So what's the plan?
The plan is that I have loaded Abobo's gangnet link with false information, so it seems like the maniacs are getting an unfair share of the profit. Once I download this, it should start a gang mutiny. That is the plan.
Bad plan.
That's actually a good plan. By the way, Shuko is so gangster that his books show him funding organized crime. Shuko tries to bribe Marion's dad to gain more power in the city. While this is happening, we get some more Home Alone bullshit from my heroes. The hot ninja lady puts a stop to that with attempted murder. Our heroes escape with Shuko in pursuit, and while that's happening, Marion's dad and the hot ninja lady go one-on-one. We get two very boring fight scenes, ending with Billy and Jimmy getting separated. The streets get hot since Shuko's attempted bribery and Marion's plan end the truce between the cops and the gangs. It's at this point that I almost gave up. But there was less than half an hour left in the movie, so I decided to stick with it. Please subscribe. The chief wants to split some cabbage, but the rest of the cops don't want none. So the chief goes out alone. Shuko tries to get some info out of Jimmy, and at the same time, Billy and Marion get close. Unfortunately, they're interrupted by every damn gang in the city. We get some martial arts action, more Home Alone bullshit, and Billy falls for that Shuko disguise gag for the millionth time. Shuko tries to get Billy to fork over the other medallion. This, I don't know, awakens the power of the medallion or some shit. Billy beats Shuko out of his brother, not a euphemism, but he loses the medallion in the process. This helps Shuko gain the power of the Double Dragon. Shuko then turns into two evil dark warriors, and we get a mix of martial arts action and Home Alone bullshit. Eventually, the Lee boys get the upper hand, and now they have the power of the Double Dragon. Those are outfits. We end on some more Home Alone bullshit, and Shuko gets arrested. And that was Double Dragon.
Oh, what a crap film.
Double Dragon was based off of the video game of the same name. The original Double Dragon was released into arcades in the year 1987 by Technos Japan. It was originally developed as a part of the Kunio-kun series of games created by Yoshihisa Kishimoto. The Kunio-kun series is best known in the West for the game River City Ransom on the NES. The arcade cabinet actually appears in the film in this blink or you'll miss it moment. Do you see it? Interestingly, this movie, that was based off of a video game, had a video game release based off of it. Double Dragon, great title, was released for the Neo Geo less than a year later. It features characters and designs based off the movie. It received mixed reviews from critics. The movie takes place in the aftermath of an earthquake that destroyed much of Southern California. This premise is based on a hypothetical real event called The Big One. The Big One refers to a seismic event that could potentially occur along the San Andreas Fault. The result would be an enormous earthquake that could register as greater than a 7 on the moment magnitude scale. This same hypothetical event was also used as the background for other films released during the 1990s. Y'all, this movie is the absolute definition of rosy retrospection, or rose-colored glasses. I remember seeing it for the first time on VHS with my homie during a sleepover, and I thought it was great. But this just does not age well. I do love the production design and the 90s futurist aesthetic. This was at a crossroads between sleek 90s tech and cyberpunk grittiness, and I think it's amazing. However, the acting and the dialogue is mad cheesy and corny, and it suffers from the same thing that other kids' movies from this era suffered from: Home Aloneism. All kid movies from this era ripped off the worst aspects of Home Alone, like the slapsticky bullshit. Even Home Alone 2 suffered from this. If you're curious and you want to check this out for yourself, it's usually on Amazon Prime. Don't say I didn't warn you though. Peace. Hey, how are you? Welcome back to the Peace and Love Special. So far, this has been one of my favorite movies to revisit, and it's perfect for Halloween. It's Ernest Scared Stupid, a pretty entertaining kids movie that, I'll just say it, better than Hocus Pocus. Fight me. I mean, just for that one joke alone. You know the one I'm talking about. And if you don't, Well, let me stop my yapping and bullcrapping and let's get this shit started.
Let's get this shit started!
The film begins with one of the dopest credit sequences in film history. The music alone is amazing. Seven, Casino, Ernest Scared Stupid has the best opening credits of all time. Wait, what? Anyways, back in the old days of Missouri, a little girl is being chased by some unknown creature. She doesn't seem too scared by it. That creature is a troll. Reverend Phineas Worrell and the townspeople decide to bury it alive underneath an oak tree. Before being buried in eternal darkness, the troll places a curse upon Phineas. The curse sees each descendant of Phineas Worrell becoming more and more and more dumb as time goes on. We then get the best character in the film. Ernest P. Worrell, a self-described sanitary engineer, is hard at work cleaning some dirty trash cans, but gets himself into another pickle. Thankfully, he's saved by his dog, Rimshot, and our other protagonists, Elizabeth and Kenny. Kenny's dad, Cliff, the sheriff of Briarville, has the mayor on his ass because Old Lady Hackmore's place looks like the hideout of Simon Phoenix, and the sheriff hasn't made Ernest clean it up yet. The sheriff tells Ernest to clean up the Hackmore place or he's fired. Old Lady Hackmore is played by the legendary Eartha Kitt. Hackmore is an eccentric artist that uses unconventional media. Ernest tells her that he's there to clean her place up. However, she tells Ernest to f*** off. The kids, along with their friend Joey, continue to get bullied by these fat boys called the Murdochs. So Ernest, quite confusingly, tells Kenny that he and his homies should build a treehouse. They find the perfect tree in a scary forest that is obviously a real location and not a set. By the way, this movie made me want a treehouse so badly when I was a kid. Also, remember that curse I mentioned earlier?
The curse sees each descendant of Phineas Worrell becoming more and more and more.
Well, the troll placed that curse hoping that at some point in the future, someone in the Worrell clan would be stupid enough to free him. Trantor the troll is finally freed and ready to wreak havoc upon the children of Briarville, starting with poor Joey. Can anything stop Trantor? Ernest tries to get the help of the sheriff, but like a typical law enforcement officer, he doesn't want to help. So Ernest tries to get help from Old Lady Hackmore instead. She finds some weird poem about the trolls needing to find 5 kids to create an army and only being able to stop it with the heart of a child and a mother's care, some shit. Ernest decides to warn the citizens of Briarville and get some troll fighting supplies from Bobby and Tom Tulip, aka the Tulip Brothers. Elizabeth and Kenny go back to the forest to look for Joey. They notice that Joey has turned into a wooden doll, becoming the first of 5 children to resurrect Trantor's army. The kids, followed by Trantor, decide to see if Old Lady Hackmore can help. Instead, she goes crazy. While this is happening, Trantor claims victim number 2. It's the night of Halloween, and all the kids of Briarville are trick-or-treating. There's also a big party at the school. Elizabeth is too scared to go out because of Trantor. Well, she doesn't have to worry about going out because she becomes victim number 3 from the comfort of her own bedroom. Meanwhile, Ernest and the Tulip Bros are on troll patrol and sending troll. I forgot I wrote this. Meanwhile, Ernest and the Tulip Bros are on troll patrol and setting why did I? This is so stupid. Meanwhile, Ernest and the Tulip Bros are on troll patrol and setting troll traps. Now, if only there was something that would stop the trolls. While Kenny is trying to find his dad, Trantor snags victim number 4. The parents of Briarville are starting to notice that the children are missing, and the sheriff just tells them that they're probably all at the party. Great job. Speaking of which, Ernest captures Trantor. Well, at least he thinks he does. Instead, the Murdochs fall into one of the troll traps. Since they're also the sons of the dipshit mayor of Briarville, Ernest gets fired. Quite frankly, it's amazing he kept his job for so long. While on troll patrol, Trantor finds Ernest and decides to end the Worrell bloodline for good. It almost looks like Trantor is too much for Ernest, but luckily he's saved by Rimshot and the Tulip Bros. Back at the Hackmore place, Ernest discovers the one thing that can destroy trolls.
That's it. Authentic Bulgarian miak.
Old Lady Hackmore also realizes that the heart of a child line from the poem doesn't literally mean ripping out its heart and sacrificing it to an evil being. It's like a metaphor. But what about the mother's care thing? Unfortunately, Trantor claims victim number 5. Fortunately, though, it was one of the Murdochs. Trantor and Ernest face off again, but this time, Ernest is ready.
Let's see how you like a little Miak.
Miak?
I bet you thought I couldn't find any this time of year.
Ernest must have misread the book because Miak doesn't do shit, and sadly, poor little Rimshot was turned into a wooden doll. Ernest has had it and is ready to kick some troll ass. The sheriff continues to be useless. Maybe he should have been turned into a wooden doll. Kenny also finds out that a mother's care is milk. The power of is the ultimate weapon against Trantor and his forthcoming troll army. Kenny and the rest of the kids of Briarville head into battle. So does Old Lady Hackmore. Ernest tries to stop the troll army from forming but fails in a funny fashion. The troll army is finally born. Ernest, along with the rest of Briarville, try their best to fend them off, but the trolls are just too much for them. Luckily, the kids show up and fuck yeah, that is cool as shit. We then get 5 minutes of straight up troll murder. Trantor transforms into a terrible and terrifying Super Trantor. He turns poor Kenny into a wooden doll before one final showdown with Ernest Worrell. It's going to take more than milk to murder the malicious and maniacal. Okay, I'll stop. Trantor. Ernest has the perfect weapon, the heart of a child. He also happens to have the mind of a child. Thanks to Ernest, the children of Briarville are brought back to life, including some children from the town's past. How old is Old Lady Hackmore? And those kids have been gone for like a century. Rimshot comes back to life too. And that was Ernest Scared Stupid. The character of Ernest was created by actor Jim Varney and the ad agency Cardin and Cherry. Cardin and Cherry used the character of Ernest in several local and national commercials that were shot at the home of producer John R. Cherry III. Eventually, Ernest would make his way to film and television, starting with Dr. Otto and the Riddle of the Gloom Beam, which was directed by John R. Cherry III in 1985. Ernest would also be the star of a TV show in 1988 called Hey Vern, It's Ernest. Vern was an unseen next-door neighbor to Ernest. We would see through the point of view of Vern in all of the commercials. Jim Varney portrayed Ernest for almost 20 years and began acting when he was 8 years old. He even studied Shakespeare in Virginia at the Barter Theater. Sadly, Jim Varney passed away in 2000, along with Eartha Kitt in 2008 and John R. Cherry III in 2022. Rest in peace to all three. Sometimes you might hear the phrase, "this has no right going so hard," like Disney's Tarzan soundtrack or Mariah Carey's Loverboy remix. These are pieces of media that over-deliver and stand on their own as being better than expected. I mean, we got Jim Varney. I mean, Eartha Kitt. The child actors were not annoying and actually pretty good. I mean, Trantor, the monster effects, like, amazing. Well, specifically the Trantor ones. The other ones, meh. But still, the snot, the Brussels sprout egg, dude. The Miak joke, God, bro, I'm telling you. There's also something intriguing about the Ernest movies. Like, they're too childish to be adult entertainment, but they're slightly more elevated than normal kids movies. Plus, they have this charming and wholesome vibe. It's kind of hard to put into words. I'm telling you, just rent this movie. I recommend it. Happy Halloween. Okay, so yeah, that was the Double Dragon and Ernest Scared Stupid episodes. The Double Dragon was such a boring movie. Like, that was one that took a long time to put together as well. Like, kind of like, actually, I think I was first starting to write that alongside the Surf Ninjas one. Like, when I was doing both of them at the same time. I think I always wanted to do the Surf Ninjas one first, but I was like, well, if I'm going to keep doing this, I gotta work on the next one. That one was challenging because the movie was so long, so boring, and incoherent. Like, actually, the thing is, I don't even think it's technically a long movie. It's just incoherent, and it's basically stretching out a concept so thin that it's boring. It's so damn boring. Trying to make like a decent synopsis out of it was difficult. Eventually, after a while, I was able to kind of figure out, okay, how to kind of write this and how to kind of put it together. A movie like that I'm having an issue like that with right now is Airheads, but I think I've kind of nailed how I want to do that synopsis. So I'm going to start writing that one here soon. So stay tuned for that one. Regardless of all that I still really enjoy that one. Pay attention to the music that's in it. You go back and pay attention to the music, you might notice something. I do want to do more 90s kids movies. The only other one I can really think of that I want to do is Three Ninjas Kick Back. A lot of that is for the same reason as the Double Dragon one, because it's a martial arts movie that also borrowed very heavily from Home Alone, and that concept that I mentioned at the end of the video, Home Aloneism. Three Ninjas Kick Back is like a very good example of like movies that do that. And if I remember correctly, it's also another one that's like super long and boring. But speaking of 90s kids movies, Ernest Scared Stupid, that episode so far I think is absolutely my most favorite episode that I've done so far. The movie itself is a movie that I still really enjoy, and I think is actually really good and funny. It's like, as of right now at least, the only one I've done to coincide with a holiday. The thing is, I actually did want to follow it up with Ernest Saves Christmas, for Christmas that year. I think it was 2 years ago, 2024. But I guess I found out the hard way that people don't seem to share the same enthusiasm for the Ernest movies that I do. It didn't get a lot of views, or at least not like the amount of views that I was hoping it would compared to the other ones that I did. Not only that, it basically made me realize like, okay, maybe Ernest movies aren't like the best way to go, because I still want to do Ernest Saves Christmas. I do also want to do Ernest Goes to Jail. The trivia section for Ernest Scared Stupid was mostly, well, I think pretty much all about Ernest, the Ernest character, and Jim Varney, the actor. What's kind of cool is I got a really interesting comment. There was a person who commented and said that the troll costumes, like besides Trantor, the other troll costumes were actually recycled costumes from Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And that would have been a really good thing to point out in my trivia video. Speaking of trivia, the last episode that I have here before the compilation ends is Cybermania 94. And this is the most recent episode that I have produced and edited together. This was an episode where I was like, man, I really screwed up by adding a trivia section to all these videos, and a lot of the reason why I did is just because I wanted to basically not completely rip off the other people that do videos like this. So I was like, I'll add a trivia section, and it makes it, I guess I'm a classic film nerd where I like trilogies. I like the 3-act structure. Everything's in threes, 1, 2, 3 parts. When it came to the trivia for Cybermania 94, like I had to actually do serious research to find like information or trivia or anything to do about the making of Cybermania 94. And I'm actually pretty good at doing research. I just, as I've learned specifically from the UX design courses that I've done over the years, I don't enjoy doing it. I'm pretty good at it. It's just not something that I particularly enjoy doing. But looking up information for Cybermania 94 was actually pretty fun. And I found out a lot of cool things that I was like, of the history of that event that ties into current day. Like it gave me an excuse to use the Jeff Keighley Doritos Pope meme, which is like one of the funniest memes I've ever seen in my entire life, and I laugh like every time it pops up in the video when I watch it. Yes, I will occasionally rewatch my videos several times. I had a lot of fun genuinely researching information for that one. But yeah, like I mentioned, this Cybermania 94 was the most recent one I've done. Stay tuned for the next one, which will be the Weekend at Bernie's, which is now fully edited and ready to go. That's pretty much going to be uploaded very soon, maybe like the day after this one is. So stay tuned for that one. But yeah, thanks for watching and enjoy this last episode. Subscribe to the Patreon. Hey, how are you? Welcome back to the Peace and Love special. This time around, I'm not doing a movie. I'm doing an award show. Yeah, maybe I'll throw in an award show or a TV event every now and again, instead of just a movie. This is like a total 90s time capsule, specifically like the mid-90s, when the computer technology was starting to get a little bit more advanced. Video games were starting to enter the world of 3D polygons, and the internet seemed like magic. To old people today, it still kind of is. This is Cybermania 94. It was probably one of the first award shows dedicated to video games, and you could definitely tell it was the first, or one of the first. But you know what? I'm yapping and bullcrapping. Let's get this shit started.
Let's get this shit started!
We begin in cyberspace. This awkwardly transitions into an aerial shot of Universal Studios Hollywood. They paid good money to host this shit, and they're gonna get their money's worth. Our hosts this evening are the legend himself, Leslie Nielsen, and one of the many reasons for my boyhood insecurities, Jonathan Taylor Thomas. After an odd bit of physical comedy involving a Hillary Clinton impersonator, we get some typical award show monologue shit.
Tonight we'll be honoring the very best achievements in electronic gaming and interactive entertainment, nominated by the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences.
We'll also be taking a look at the future of gaming and interactive entertainment through some remarkable video packages called Cyber Stories.
Also, since this was late 1994, the early days of the internet, there's a lot of emphasis on interactivity. And get used to hearing the word cyber a lot.
Cybermania.
Only a game? Nothing is only a game.
90s editing. I love this. This clown rants about video games and computers becoming more advanced, and despite the cringe, this is actually quite prescient. Next up, Matthew Perry and Hilary Swank present the award for Best Action Adventure Game. The nominees are Doom, Mega Race, Return to Zork, Jump Raven, Critical Path, Super Street Fighter 2, Tomcat Alley, and Super Metroid. The winner is Doom. 1993. By the way, I have no idea who a lot of these people are that are accepting the awards because there were like no lower thirds.
Thank you very much.
After that, we then go to the first of many live segments from arcades all across the country. We have Sean Alex Thompson from the Luxor in Las Vegas and... Sean?
Hi, we're here at the...
This was all definitely live and pretty awkward at times.
As far as I'm concerned, the basic idea here is you want to get the 4 ninjas in the center line, is that correct? Yeah.
I used to work in television, so I know all about the chaos involved in live productions. Sean ends this nightmare by, well, trying to tell us how to play as Akuma in Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
You know what this is here?
Before the break, we're given phone numbers to call to vote for our favorite nominees. You see, in the early 1990s, it wasn't common at all for people to have the internet or even computers in their homes. I would make a dumb boomer joke, like, we used to actually use our phones to make phone calls or something like that, but that would just be stupid and lame, and I definitely wasn't considering that at all. Also, I love how the uploaders left in the commercials. I'm one of those losers that likes to watch 80s and 90s commercial compilations. I need a girlfriend. After the break, we're treated to a wacky and zany physical comedy bit because, Leslie Nielsen is the Naked Gun guy. I think Leslie Nielsen needs to be commended not only for his great talent, but also for never saying no to anything. Anyway, we get a cyber story about the history of video games, and Pong gets a nice pump. Next, a presenter named Jeff Leibowitz tells the viewers that they can vote for their favorite nominees and chat on Prodigy. To anyone born after the year 2000, Prodigy was a service that helped people who didn't know shit about the internet access the internet. Remember, this was at a time when people thought the internet looked like this.
Don't get burned wide, there's powerful code in the sector, it could be the source.
Prodigy helped make things less confusing. We're then presented with the award for Best CD... Wow, CDs. This award was presented by Lark Voorhees. The nominees are Mist, Seventh Guest, Mega Race, Return to Zork, and Escape from Cyber City. The winner is Seventh Guest, which gets a Road Warrior pop from the audience. After this, we're presented with a pretty interesting segment. Former Santa Barbara Mayor Hal Conklin and former smartest kid in America, Michael Kearney, battle each other in a game of SimCity. Who will win? Stay tuned to find out. More commercials. After the break, we get another Leslie Nielsen laugh fest. Again, this was shot live from Universal Studios. We're going to make use of those backlots. This cyber short is about how Hollywood is using computers to create special effects. Whoa, look at that. Wow. Then Sarah Chalk and Tanya Kaiser? Okay, I had never heard of this woman or the show she's credited to, and I tried looking her up on IMDb and other parts of the internet, and I could not find anything, and it ended up bothering me a lot when I was first writing all of this. Present the award for Best Portable Game. The nominees are Aladdin, Wario Land, Home Alone, Donkey Kong, and The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. The winner is Aladdin. Really? We then go to another arcade live, this time from Paramus, New Jersey with a young Will Arnett.
I'm Will Arnett, and we're in one of the biggest arcades in America, and also one of the loudest.
There are a lot of screaming and yelling kids as Will tries to give us a tip from the video game Double Dragon 5.
Okay, now here's the first tip. To finish Billy Lee, you gotta use the standing hard punch. That always gets Billy Lee. Now secondly, to finish the Shadow Master, you have to use the standing hard kick. You know, the Shadow Master kick.
I like how he clearly has no clue what he is talking about, but he gets through it like a pro.
Crouching medium punch. I don't know, this is better than the standing hard kick.
Unfortunately, after this, we get one of the most uncomfortable and cringy moments on television. Comedian Charles Fleischer presents the award for Best Comedy. Why is it uncomfortable? Well,
but we have technology that is beaming this to outer space, which means aliens could conceivably be watching the show. So I'd like to make my first comment to those possible people.
Zabu inakatia ro makasa.
That, of course, means Leslie Nielsen is the tall one. I am by myself. For an unfortunate reason, the presenter they had selected for me, I think Prince Charles was unable to come. He has been in Los Angeles recently. He was actually touring Watts. Hello there. You talking to me, chump? Take a walk, Dumbo.
Who in the told this guy he was funny? After what feels like an eternity, we get the nominees. They are I'm Your Man, That's News to Me, The Wacky World of Miniature Golf, Bugs Bunny Rabbit Rampage, and Dating and Mating. The winner is The Wacky World of Miniature Golf. More commercials and hey, look at this. That reminds me, check out this video. Like and subscribe, please. Next, we get a special award presented by Devin Odessa. It's an award for Best Achievement in Virtual Reality, which goes to iWorks Entertainment. By the way, I absolutely love these early CGI visuals. After the commercial break, we get another live arcade segment with Andy Carbalis and more yelling, screaming kids, including this curious youngster.
Who do you think is gonna win tonight? Me! You think you're gonna win? What video game do you think is gonna win? Maybe
he's got what it takes to be a legend.
We then get another cyber short. This time it's about hackers. This segment was really interesting. It's pretty amazing when you realize it was being broadcast on cable television 30 years ago. After the cyber short, we're treated to an audio-visual treat by the legendary Herbie Hancock.
Technology is enabling the empowerment of our people, regardless of race, age, and sex. Creation, education, and recreation in any combination. We salute the explorers of our cyber generation. Cyber generation. Cyber generation. Cyber generation.
Pleasure of mine. Interactive videos, but you hear me though.
Iggy Azalea? Wow, that was amazing. That should win an award for most 90s thing ever. It should have ended with that. This segs into the award for Best Musical. The nominees are Explorer by Peter Gabriel, Video Jam, Interactive by Prince, whoa, Freak Show by The Residents, and Uptown Blues. The winner is Explorer. Really? We get an update on that game of SimCity, and it's awkward live TV shit.
Leading, forward-thinking artists, technologists. The Academy sponsors events, seminars. Hi, Devin.
Can I play in your chat room?
Absolutely.
It's getting weird.
I think a lot more than my voice is about to crack.
We'll
be right back.
After the break, we get a short industry insight joke.
Now, Price Waterhouse oversaw all of the Academy voting for the show, and they will be here to verify your ticket stubs in order to qualify as tax write-offs for business expenses.
Followed by the award for Best Strategy Simulator, presented by Carol Ann Plant and Renee Auberjonois. The nominees are SimCity Enhanced, Dune 2, which gets a huge pop,
World of Sand and Spice, and
Flight Simulator 5, Castles 2,
Siege and Conquest,
huge pop for this one as well, and Forever Growing Garden. The winner is
SimCity Enhanced CD-ROM.
Shelley Duvall, in her Crown of Flowers, introduces a cyber story about the internet and how computers can be used for education. Remember those times when we were excited about educating young people? Before we voted to abolish the Department of Education? Before we taught children that science is bad and slavery was good? I remember those times. We get an update on the votes. The nerds on the web are voting for Doom, while the cool kids on the phones are voting for NBA Jam and Mortal Kombat. Then, we get the award for Best Sports Game. The award is presented by Marla Gibbs and the Barbarian Brothers. I guess Marsha Warfield and Fabio were busy that night. The nominees are...
Where's our ball?
Just get to the nominees. The nominees are NBA Jam, FIFA Soccer, NHL 94, Ken Griffey Jr. presents Major League Baseball, Caesar's World of Boxing, Sports Illustrated Multimedia Almanac, QBI, and Great Day at the Races. The winner is Caesar's World of Boxing. What? This leads into a rather curious segment with Leslie Nielsen. William Regal and the late Brian Pillman battle against each other in a game of WCW Super Bowl on the SNES. This, of course, turns into a real wrestling match and hilarity ensues.
Hold it! Hold it! Hold it!
Well, this show is just full of surprises, ain't it? We then get the award for Best Actor, Female. The nominees are Grace Zabriskie for Voyeur, Eileen Weisinger for Critical Path, Tanya Kaiser for Man Enough, and Virginia Caper for Gabriel Knight. The winner is Grace Zabriskie. This is followed by the award for Best Actor, Male. The nominees are Robert Culp for Voyeur, Leonard Nimoy for Star Trek, Tim Curry for Gabriel Knight, C. Erickson for Mega Race, and Mickey Rooney for A Great Day at the Races. The winner is Robert Culp. His acceptance speech is insanely boring.
I know it's appropriate to thank the Academy for this honor, and I do. And I've been doing this for 50 years. And so I think you can understand. I insisted that I wanted to do it because I did do the first MOW, and they're acronyms, and so I thought, well, I should do this one. So this is appropriate in that manner, and yet the real hero here, if I can get this across clearly, I'm quite serious. Robbie got on this before he realized that he truly had a title on the table. He spent over 2 years. Thank you very much.
After that agonizing 2 minutes and 8 seconds, yes, I timed it, we get the winner of the SimCity battle. It's Michael. Good job, young man. He's 41 now. Finally, it's time for the award for Best Game. The nominees are Doom, Mortal Kombat, missed, NBA Jam, and Super Street Fighter 2. The winner is Mortal Kombat. The show ends on a dirty joke.
I know I can't wait to get home. I can't wait to get home and grab a hold of my joystick and boot up the hard drive.
And that was Cybermania 94. Information on Cybermania is a little scarce, but the original show was created by Andrew Zucker and organized by the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences, a non-profit organization that Zucker started. Nowadays, the AIAS organizes the DICE Awards. Speaking of which, Jeff Keighley, who would go on to executive produce and host the Game Awards, worked on Cybermania 94 by writing the scripts for the nominations. Those nominations were read by none other than William Shatner. Apparently, a follow-up event, either called Cybermania 95 or the second annual AIAS Awards, took place online only. It was hosted by Ariana Richards, who played Lex in Jurassic Park. It was notable for its poor viewership. Former AIAS president Joseph Olin said in an interview with GamesBeat, "I think maybe 5 people watched it. There were more people in the room than were watching it on TV." Michael Kearney is currently a teaching assistant and is not only known for a few game show appearances, but for also graduating from high school at age 6, receiving a bachelor's degree at age 10, earning his first master's degree at age 14, his second master's degree at age 17, and a doctorate at age 22. By the way, he was born 2 weeks after me. What have I done with my life? Sadly, former Santa Barbara Mayor Hal Conklin passed away in 2021. Interestingly, he only served as mayor for 1 year. He was also known for caring about the environment and the arts, which goes back to his days in the 70s as a city council member. Rest in peace, Hal Conklin. I remember seeing this event when it first aired on TBS. My stepdad even videotaped it for me. It was something that always stayed in my mind for years, and it's thanks to some great uploaders on YouTube that everyone can experience a great piece of video game history. The original airing had a few critics, and even some younger viewers today would probably die from all the cringe, but for old f***s like myself and Michael Kearney, this is a great time capsule. Seriously, check it out, and watch it with the commercials for the full experience. Thanks for watching. Peace.